Subscribe to Rajshri Food and click on the bell icon for more updates.
We make a lot of recipes using pineapple, but where we get stuck is the processing part or the cutting part. We often find that very tedious. Today, let me demystify that and then show you a very quick pineapple raita. Hey guys, this is Varun Inamdar and welcome to Rajshri Food. The first thing is to show you how a pineapple looks. Of course, we've all seen it, but today let's see the different parts of this. This, of course, is the stalk of the pineapple on which the fruit grows. These are known as slips. This is the fruit which has a hard exterior which often needs to get peeled off, and this one that you see on top is known as the crown. Now let's get into processing or cutting the pineapple. For this, the first thing is to remove the crown. Now you can remove it two ways. The first method is to just run a knife right like that and cut it off. The second step is the one that I personally prefer, and that is cleaning the crown like so. For this, of course, you need an extremely sharp knife, and if possible, use a boning knife, which is often a very thin knife like so. The next step is to start peeling off the exterior of the fruit, and that needs to be done very thinly. This step would actually reveal the eye of the pineapple, and trust me, it has multiple eyes, and we would remove that as well. But before we start removing the eyes of the pineapple, let's remove the base. Slice it off like so, as thin as possible. The next step, of course, is to start removing the eyes of the pineapple. On either sides of the eyes, we need to cut into a little triangle like so, holding the knife a little at an angle. Similarly, we start removing the rest of the eyes. Try to remove the entire brown part because that is something that contains little thorns, and that could lead to an itchy throat. Once this step is done, we need to give the pineapple a quick rinse, and then let's move forward. Once the pineapple is rinsed, it's ready to go straight on the platter. For that, of course, we need to cut it well, and for that, you again need to use a very thin knife and cut into thin slices. Let's start placing these nicely and neatly. Let me pick one of the slices and show you very quickly. This is the fruit of the pineapple, and if you notice right in the center, there's a little dark patch, and that is known as the core of the pineapple, which often could get removed because it's inedible, it's not sweet, and often stocky. With this, let's move on to the next cut of the pineapple, which is often known as a boat. You need to do this very carefully because this involves cutting the pineapple lengthwise right from the center. Let's start with the fruit in this case, running the knife straight to the bottom, and then come down, even cutting the crown right from the middle. This cut exposes the crown cut lengthwise, the core which is right in the center, and the fruit on either sides. Let's hold the fruit at an angle and cut it into three. In this step, it's completely optional to remove the core, but what is important is to cut the pineapple along the contours of the skin like so, leaving roughly around half a centimeter at the base. This cut exposes a net-like pattern which is so typical of a pineapple. The next step is to cut it like so. To make it look like a nice and fancy boat, all you need to do is, with your index finger, just push the fruit like so. With this, your pineapple boat is also ready. Now that the pineapples are cut and ready, let's make a very quick pineapple raita. The first step is to use pineapple, of course, because it's a pineapple raita. And then we need to cut it into small bits randomly. Generally, for a pineapple raita, it's also advised to use canned pineapple. In case you're one of those, like me, who often like using fresh pineapples, you need to remove the core because the canned pineapple has the core often removed. The next step is to turn a flame on. On that, use a pan and lightly roast some cumin seeds. Once the cumin seeds are well toasted, off goes the flame and this gets transferred into a mortar and pestle. Once this kind of relatively cools down, we'll crush this roughly. In the interim, let's chop few coriander leaves. Most of our pre-preparation is done and ready. Let's move on to making the raita. For this, of course, I've taken some curds, or you can also use some yogurt. To this, to sweeten it, of course, I'm adding in some sugar, and this one is powdered sugar because that makes it nice and instant. And adding in just a touch of red chili powder, along with this black salt and just a touch of regular table salt. Let's whisk this well. Ensure that the yogurt is nice and smooth. Once this is done and ready, let's start adding in the main ingredient, and that is chopped pineapple along with, of course, coriander. Mix this well, and finally, let's crush the cumin seeds that were roasted. Let's add this to the pineapple raita and give it one final mix. To this, of course, you can add some fresh pomegranate seeds. You could add in some khari bundi and personalize it the way you want. Let's serve this. Let's top this up with some chopped pineapple, of course, some roasted cumin seed which has been crushed earlier, and just a touch of red chili powder. It's always important, like I always say, to personalize food and make it look as colorful as it can. For this, finally, I'm using a little piece of the crown and putting it right here so that some green color gets added. With this, your pineapple raita is done and ready, and do not wait to make a pulao, biryani or a tahri. Make it just for the kick of making pineapple raita at home. Do not forget to like and share the video and subscribe to Rajshri Food.